Hey, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. I'm really excited about this lesson. I got a killer scale exercise. The beauty of this exercise is that it's going to work with any scale system. So if you want to use it with minor pentatonic, and then you want to use it with blues, you want to use it with major pentatonic, you want to use it with, major scales, minor scales, Dorian modal scales, this will work with any of that. With this exercise, we're going to concentrate on moving across the fretboard, getting out of those boxes, but doing it in a musical way. So we're going to be using this exercise as a vehicle to create licks, create music, and make it musical sounding, so we're not playing things that sound like scales. And we're also going to use it as a means to learn the fretboard better. And I think part of the problem is with a lot of traditional guitar methods is that no matter what scale you're playing, you learn this system of boxes vertically. And that's where we spend so much time, and that's fine, but you also want to spend the time learning how to link them together and moving them across horizontally. And not just learning shapes, but learning the intervals and the notes and how they connect across the fretboard. Now you're cooking. And if you have a second, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel, that really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. Leave a comment below. Let us know how you like this lesson. Let us know what lessons you'd like to see coming up. And if you like the video, please click the thumbs up button. Give it a like, and thank you so much for your support. And for instructional purposes, for the guitar tone, I have the delay off and I have the gain turned down. Just a little reverb on there. Now, like I said earlier, this exercise is going to work with any scale. We're going to use natural minor as an example. So we're going to go over a few minor scales, right? And this is also called pure minor or Aeolian mode. But try it with whatever it is you're using and use this as a template. So you want to take two scales right next to each other. We're in the key of D minor. So let's take this scale off of the root note on the 10th fret of the low E string, D. And this scale looks like this. And we'll take the one right next door to it off of the root D on the A string, which is at the 5th fret. And that scale looks like this. We'll add another one in a minute, but just start with two. Let's just use the top three strings. You could do it with all six, but for brevity, let's just take the top three. So on the top three, we have this. Okay, and then on the top three over here, we have this. Know where those root notes are, the D notes, very important. We have a D here, another D here. So what you want to do is you want to play this first three notes. Now we're going to switch to the next three notes of the other scale, but we're going to move across. So you got to know, if I do it with one finger, right, those are the notes. We have F, E, D, C, B flat, and we have our A. Now, when you get to this end of the second scale, then you jump up to the next string right above it. See what I did? And you play the next three notes, and then you go to the next shape. Whole step, half step, whole step. So when you go up to the B string, you have your E note, F, G, A, B flat, C. You go another whole step, there's another D, but it's outside the scale, but just so you know where it is. So far you have this. High E string, B string. Okay, now you do the same thing. Now we're going to hop up to the next string, which is the G string, and we're going to play that vertically down. So that would look like this. Back to our D note. So we have our G note, our F, E, D, C, D. Let's just end it there for now. So all together, real slow, you have this. If I do it with one finger. And eventually you want to get to where you know that and pick up the speed. All right, and now that doesn't sound very musical yet. It still sounds like scales, although we're jumping the intervals around a bit. But what that is going to do is this. It's going to enable to start seeing the fretboard horizontally. And now what we're going to start to do is use that to create some lick ideas. So that might take you a little bit of time if you're not familiar with it, right? To get that all memorized and to get really comfortable, get it under your fingers and just keep going back and forth and up and down. And that's huge once you get that under your fingers, because now you could start taking those notes and just sliding them around and getting comfortable. Even put the track on, which I'll do in a minute, and then just get comfortable moving things around and making it musical. For instance, just as we take like the high E string notes, start sliding them. Then climb back up to and end on your root note. Right? And now it's starting to sound musical. And all we're doing is we're moving across the neck with these building blocks of licks, which, you know, scales are the building blocks, but we're not just necessarily moving vertically. We're moving horizontally and then maybe go vertically to get to your root notes, right? And if you'd like to see these scales drawn out on paper, because sometimes it helps to have that visual element, I'll tell you what, I could really help you with that. Click on the link in the YouTube description box below, and I'll send you my Killer Rock Blues ebook. It's packed with like 29 scale diagrams, and I go over, you know, where the root notes are in those scales, where the blue notes are, modal scales. I go over, you know, Dorian and natural minor, and it's packed. The book is packed with soloing strategies and lessons and music theory. It'll really help you along. It'll really help you to see what we're talking about here on paper. So just click on that link below. I'll send you the free ebook, and I'll pair it with a video lesson. And you could mix up those notes, maybe, right, and jump further intervals, and then maybe then start putting some bends in. Let's move to the B string. So now I'm moving between positions. I'm jumping strings. I'm going from the B string to the G string, but it's all using this connection points string by string. Now you could even take like a blues lick, connect it to other parts of the neck, right? We all know that the blues scale. And try to resolve a lot of your licks to those D notes at first. The melodic tones will start to jump out at you. Let's add another scale. Let's say we'll take the next one down, which will look like this. Right? So if you take just the top 3 strings there. Okay. So now let's do those 3 strings all the way down, all the way back, all the way down using all 3 scales. I'll do it with one finger first. Back to our D note here. But right now we have the G string. And now we could add that into our little... Right, so now I might start in one position like I just did, then start sliding, do some long slides, up to my B string. Now I have another D note right there, right? So I have this. And I could start moving around. Now again, adding that third one now is going to, you know, take a little bit. But once you integrate that, and again, just start with those top 3 strings, and you could start adding in, you know, the slides and the longer licks, and you could add your bends and hammer-ons and pull-offs, and really start to work it to make this musical sounding, because that's what it's all about, right? Taking the scales, taking the notes and doing musically interesting things with them, with our bends, with our hammer-ons, with our slides, right? And letting the music breathe a little bit, especially over the jam track, because this one's kind of slow and melodic, so you don't want to play no, 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 no. You want to play and then rest, stop. That's another thing. Oftentimes we are trying to do too much. Take a breath every now and then. Let the music breathe. Play a lick, end it with vibrato on the root, stop. I'll demonstrate in a second. These concepts over a jam track. That jam track's going to be in the key of D minor, and basically it's a nice slow-moving jam track, slow-moving chords. The changes are a D minor add 9 to a B flat, major 7, flat 5. It does that 3 times, and it goes to G minor 6 to an A sus4. I'll list out those chords here. You want to grab this jam track. I have a video lesson of the jam track, and then I extended play it. So grab that. I'll put that in the cards, and also I'll put a link to that below, because you want to practice over jam tracks. Jam tracks are an essential tool for the practicing guitarist, so you can take all these concepts and lessons and ideas and put them in a musical context and with rhythm behind you, and you could really, really move your playing forward. I got the jam track on. Let's just take along the 3 strings. Let's just slide the notes around a little bit. Notice I'm landing on that D note on the root. Let's move to the B string. Right? How about G string? That blues lick I did before. Notice how I'm letting the notes breathe, even with a nice long bend. Up the strings. You could do that too, just kind of slide. Another bend. Legato on one string is always nice. And really spend some time with whatever scales you're working on. Just starting with 2, then moving to 3, and then move to 4, and then getting to know them on each string across the neck, and then start building the licks with them, and put on the jam track and just get lost in it. Really help you along. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Keep up all that hard work on those guitars. You can do it, right? Remember, subscribe to the channel, because I got tons of new lessons on the way. I'm really stoked about some of the stuff I'm going to be bringing, and by clicking on that subscribe button, then you'll be notified when I have new lessons up, as well as it helps us to keep the content coming. And also, to see the scales on paper, get my ebook. Click on the link below. I'll send you a free ebook. It's killer. Has like 29 scale diagrams, soloing strategy, music theory, major, minor, key. It's awesome. I'll pair it with a video lesson. I'll send them both to you for free. Just click on that link below. I just dropped a new record with my original band, Mind Cell. We're based out of San Diego, California. I'm really excited about the new record. I think it's a slamming record. I'd love for you to hear it. It's streaming on all the platforms. I'll put links to all of that below. Check it out. If you have any questions on the gear I used, or maybe the studio techniques, or any of the songs, or the scales, or the soloing, just drop me a line. Would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for your support over the years and years, and thanks so much for tuning into this lesson. I so appreciate it. Stay positive. Keep chipping away at these things. Remember, you can do it. And remember also, your guitar playing is an evolution. Take care and rock on, and I'll see you in the next lesson.